along the way. So try Band today. Band. Be together.
And with that, folks, we'll be getting ourselves into Game 2 between Pittsburgh and Mama Down Under, joined by Chaz. And we have Drow Warlock.
Woo!
Much less exciting than Pudge.
Yes, quite a bit. I imagine that Rox took public player aside. I'm imagining them in the same like dorm room or apartment, and they just had a nice long talk about how public player would be kicked if he stole another kill from the Invoker. That's how I imagine that transgression went. What?
Yeah. Go out with a bang, literally.
Would you believe me if I told you I was wearing a Techies t-shirt right now?
I would not, because I can't believe someone would make Techies t-shirts. That is disgusting.
On Twitter.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this does. It's not something we see at all.
For good reason, usually. I do play a fair bit of Techies. I am the scum of the earth. Just take it easy, Twitch chat. But Techies, all in all, I don't feel would be that great, especially against the Drow Ranger. It's what happened to Techies is that vision against him became oh so valuable and even better than it was before, because now all of his mines give gold, and that could just help accelerate a team so much further if you know where the Techies is on the map. All in all, I love that Pitt is doing fun and exciting things. They're currently 0-4 and they're having a blast with it, so shout out to them. But honestly, I don't know. I'm not feeling the Techies this early.
Dire team pick.
Even the funny thing is, though, so you mentioned not feeling the Techies this early. I guess that you can try to pick up, Beastmaster, the Shadow Demon, to make sure that you have ways of dealing with it. But Shadow Demon's already out now that they've picked up Lion.
Remaining.
They'd be looking for something else that makes units to kind of find those mines, and I'm not quite sure. Like, Chen and Enchantress, I guess you could try Enchantress offlane again, but...
Enchantress had her heyday for like, 2 weeks in the offlane? She's still fine as a support in my mind, but... Okay, so CMU is going stock standard on this draft, and Pitt is going ham.
I like Sniper.
I love Sniper. Especially with the Oracle, I feel like that's one of the best supports to pair with the Sniper. But this is...
So this is really interesting, the Jakiro coming out here. This could be... There's a bunch of different options. It could be Warlock mid, and then Lion and Jakiro the supports. It could be Jakiro offlane and a dual lane. We've actually used to see that quite a bit. Competitive Dota, and I wonder what the plan is, but it looks like CMU decided Drow strat worked last time, let's do it again.
Yeah, it worked real well. It was the 4th pick for them. Like, we talked about it a bit, and obviously you'll take the Drow when she's available, but now they have way more heroes to utilize the Drow Aura, and albeit not the strongest of lanes. I'm assuming this is a Jakiro mid and not a Warlock mid. Although, I don't really know. East Coast Dota is this whole other beast where techies and sniper can be picked freely at will. So, oh, what a draft.
Yeah, I mean, so far, I'm really wondering how Pit Lords are going to use this techies. There's a couple of crazy things you can do with the techies from the standpoint of you can farm ancients and so on, maybe the way you couldn't before. You can make stacks and then farm them all, like, weird stuff. But I think they might try to just slow siege with sniper, and if anyone comes out, there are techie mines waiting for them. I'm just not sure what the plan is.
Yeah, this... Again, the best way to deal with techies is ranged heroes with detection, and now CMU is rolling 4 ranged heroes. Obviously, detection isn't cheap, but it's Drow. They will have money. Like they have the tools to push and to sustain a push. I'm really interested to see how Pit Lords run this because I'm very cynical. I love seeing techies, but I'm cynical. Timbersaw is a good pickup though. I do like Timbersaw. It's most of what CMU has.
Yeah. A little surprised by the AM ban out, but this probably means we'll see some heavy... Oh, actually, it might just be... Yeah, so probably Warlock mid then. It may also be the AM ban out because they don't want gap closers on the Drow or someone who can split push if they have to commit all their heroes to push.
My question is, how is Pit going to deal with Warlock's Golem? I feel if Warlock plays Warlock like he needs to, he will always drop Chaotic Offering onto the Sniper. So at that point, how are you going to kill this Golem?
If your Sniper gets farmed enough, you can definitely make sure to shoot down the Golem, and now there's a Medusa coming in that can really help you knock things down. The thing that is also worrying, this lineup from Pit Lords is actually kind of greedy when you think about it.
Extremely greedy. They have... Look at how long it is going to take them for any single hero on their lineup to be remotely useful.
5 seconds
the closest thing would be Timbersaw, and that's if he gets a quick Bloodstone. Everyone else is going to take way too long to come online, and Drow Ranger will just be knocking down your towers by then. Unless this techies is a mind reader and can predict where the Drow will push every single time, I really am not digging how Pit Lords rounded out this draft. And I know I'm going to get absolutely railed for going against the techies, but this is a tough one for him.
Yeah, as you mentioned already, the ranged heroes really make this hard, because even if techies places a lot of mines on the high ground, they can just make sure they bring detection and pick them off. Sieging onto the high ground isn't as hard with a Warlock and isn't as hard with a... I'll be really interested to see how that goes.
Faceless Void.
Oh, and a Void to round it out. This is one heck of a game for Pit to go into. This is really, really tough.
Yeah, I would not want to be the techies here. It's just not super enjoyable.
Prepare for
We'll have to see exactly what they can do. Techies already TPing out. He's got 5 clarities. He's headed up to top lane. Faceless Void also heading up there to place his ward. So we'll take a look. Yeah, he's been spotted.
And the one advantage techies has is just thrown out the window.
Yeah,
That's
it's
rough.
not awful. It's like he can place other places, but he's maybe not going to have the impact he'd like. Faceless Void is actually wanting to just walk on over. He's going to blow it up, and he has that that time walk in case he wants to get rid of the damage. But I think he's actually doing a great job here of harassing him. So Faceless Void may walk back to base.
He's just taunting him. There was no reason for Faceless Void to eat any damage after like the first 2 auto attacks.
30 seconds to battle.
And he just sat there and took it. I can't believe this.
Also, Techie's going with the 2 Mantles of Intelligence, so he actually had some damage there.
Some damage as in 36 total at the moment.
It'll be interesting. Techie's now rotating around, looking to place them at the top rune spot, but unfortunately that is warded as well. Yeah.
The battle begins.
I feel like most of my vision in this game is going to be on the techies, but just to point out again, CMU getting this ward down again in the bot lane, this is very similar to the one they had last game in the top lane, where they were able to just scout out all the vision that, or not vision, the positioning of the off lane in that last game. It was the Darkseer. And we really like this ward. So I'm interested to see on how they'll use it this game, given that Timbersaw is a much harder kill than the Darkseer of old.
Yeah, I think that for Timbersaw, this lane could get really scary, especially with the silence, with the amount of damage and the aura from Drow, right? Lion doesn't... Like, you can actually get a kill in the span of the Hex and the Earth Spike. I'm also really interested in mid matchup, and actually talking about it, Medusa is getting wrecked, and oh, it's a fairy fire, but this is going to be close.
Jakiro is a great mid, and I don't know why some people are so skeptical to play him as a mid. He honestly, you're seeing it right now, pulling Medusa out to just extreme levels. Oh, and now Warlock's dewarding the, or not dewarding, decentering. That's brutal. This Techies is getting nothing done.
Yeah, but you have to know that's potentially coming as a Techies. I don't think you expect something super different. Warlock's just going to walk up, knows that he's going to get bombed, and Techies unfortunately loses those as well. Techies looking for a way out. He's in a spot of trouble, but he hasn't quite been spotted yet. Come back into vision in a second here, and yeah, they have to know, yep, Warlock's just going to follow him around, get some pretty pennies. There we go.
This is just so rough for the Techies. The reason you pick the Techies is to get that quick advantage, that level 1 advantage. That or they're just having fun. That's a more likely option.
Mid lane, it looks like Medusa will go... She's actually... Holy Hannah, I did not think the Iron Shell would actually save her there. So, well played.
Early levels of Mana Shield we don't see too often on the mid lane Medusa, normally because they have support behind them, but...
Looking good right now for CMU. Drow top of the last hits. Yes, they have some good last hitting on Sniper, but he's spending a lot of time harassing this Faceless Void, when of course he wants to be shooting things, getting last hits. Techie's very low on health has actually come up top.
I guess he wants level 2, because honestly his mines aren't doing anything. He needs Suicide and he needs to use it. That's the only way he's going to be relevant in this game. Jakiro's eating an entire wave in the mid lane? What?
Yeah, just eating some damage there. He was trying to go up and... Oh, he had been going up and using Liquid Fire and that dual breath. It's kind of a lane where both heroes can really harass each other, so I'm expecting to see more of this silliness, where both of them are min-maxing very low. It's kind of going to be who makes the first mistake, and Medusa, again, is going to just take a bunch of damage.
Techies with Suicide, but too late. Heal is here, and Jakiro is no longer a kill.
Yeah, he also just picked up his bottle, so he's going to heal up Medusa. She doesn't have hers yet. She is way under his last hits, 10 less.
Man, I just can't keep my eyes off the Techie. I guess we'll look down bot lane to keep my mind fresh, because Drow is just having another free lane.
Yeah, this Timbersaw has nothing. At least last time the Darkseer, he was able to very successfully jungle, but, well, successfully jungle for a Darkseer. And this Timbersaw, he doesn't have an Iron Talon. He's got 2 Fairy Fires and Boots, so I'm not sure where Mega Comet goes.
Timbersaw is normally one of the better offlaners to throw into the 1v2. Because the Warlock's been moving around, I would have expected him to get a little bit more than what he's been getting.
I think it's just a really hard lane. Timbersaw knows how little health he has into the Drow, and if he gets hit by that silence, that gust, he can really easily go down. So, super worrying, but he's going to try to contest. Instead, he's going to get stunned up here. Techies is behind him, but there is only one mine here. It's not like there's a bunch. And Techies may actually be our first blood. One more auto attack and he does go down. The Hadoken coming out just too late to get him to deny.
Yeah, this is nightmarish for the side of Pick here. And Jakiro grabbed an Illusion Rune, which normally is just an awful rune to grab on someone like Jakiro. But he just threw the illusions over where he thought.
Oh my goodness, and then he gets the Ice Path. Well, actually, a nice escape there. They do not know if there are mines up here on CMU, so CMU unwilling to run up there. Oh, never mind. It was
doesn't care.
Yeah, public player doesn't care. That was why I think Jakiro didn't follow, but public player has no cares. Oracle does have multiple points in those Purifying Flames if she can find the Faceless, but no, Oracle, he will just TP away.
Missed opportunity there, but if you're the Jakiro, saving your life is far more valuable. And Timbersaw is having such a rough time. He has to go for the poor man's shield now just to be able to stay in the lane.
He wasn't trying to die there either. That was less than optimal. So yeah, it's just very hard lanes have been drafted here for Pittsburgh, and I think that they have an uphill battle ahead of them to get back into the
The one good thing going for him is Void has been having a rough time, and Sniper's been staying relevant. The Void's actually doing awful, just barely better than the Timbersaw.
Oh, I mean, both of these offlaners have, like, it's not fun to be either of them. And I was a little bit surprised to not see Iron Talons on both. Void does have one. Rock's gonna casually take a bit of damage there. Oh no, while Lion and Warlock get rich off of this mine stack.
This is completely sustaining their sentry purchases too. Well, actually, Warlock is poor as all hell, but for everything else, it's like they've been doing fine, actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
really well done there, dodging the Ice Path. Medusa does have level 6. She hasn't skilled up anything yet, and actually she'll get the magic resistance thrown over onto her. She is taking damage from that Shadow Word. I don't know if she has enough damage there because the heal is flying out onto Warlock, but Medusa will give it a try and unfortunately is unsuccessful.
Worst case there is wasted time. It was a nice attempt.
That's a really important kill there though for Dire. Pittsburgh needing to get something.
And they're on the board.
But name of the game is still this Drow, who is soon going to have a Helm of the Dominator if that's what she's interested in, and she can just start making more farming happen.
I'm actually surprised at how well the Sniper is doing here. That's
yeah, we haven't
full ring of Aquila.
We haven't talked about him, right? I think this Sniper could be a big changing factor. You know, it's scary playing into a Faceless Void and a Warlock, but if he stays far enough back, gets up that early Dragon Lance, he can do a lot of work.
Yeah, it's just uphill battle. Right now I feel Techies is a non-factor, like, in its entirety. He could buy smokes for the team, and that's useful, I guess, but they're losing bot lane. The Medusa was having a rough time. Picking up the kill on the Jakiro was surprising and very good for him. Outside of the Sniper, he has...
Ooh, speaking of Sniper, he is going for the ult, and he will get the kill on the Faceless Void. Really nice shrapnel usage there. And it looks like we got action in the mid lane. Medusa, you're going to have to walk on through that. She has her Mana Shield, though. So she can always just turn that on if she wants, and she will just walk it off.
Radiant's top tower is under
Techies did get the suicide as well, so that's not the end of the world. That's pretty good favoring them. Sniper getting the kill and now tower damage.
Yeah, Sniper getting that solo kill is really big. He just... Okay, yeah, he did poke just part of the Dragon Lance. He has the Ogre Club. We will see Oracle die to Drow, even though Timbersaw is there. Nothing he can do. Only level 5. Couldn't even throw out a helpful chakra, but now it looks like he is just gonna die. Couple more auto attacks, the reactive armor, not enough. And
I know I should respect
well done, Drow.
They just do not respect this Drow Ranger of Soul. Last game he did the same thing. He was just carrying the lanes and...
Yeah, I have to say I've been really impressed with Drow's play and just really understanding how much damage he has. Rock's very close to death, but not quite going down, and that'll be nice. Actually, nobody has returned up top.
Middle tower is under attack.
Sniper with the free lane, still less last hits than the Drow, and Drow sitting on 3 kills. This is a tough one for him. And the Void doesn't even need that many items. Honestly, if he gets a Vlad's, he's immensely more useful than anything Timbersaw could pick up for his team. So
yeah, I mean,
tower has fallen.
the upside for Timbersaw is he has an easy way to farm once he gets 6, right? Like he can farm faster and get those items, but he does need a Bloodstone. Whereas if Void, as you said, if he goes the Vlad's or if he goes the Blink, he's going to be a credit to his team. He might not even need the Blink.
There's in some trouble, actually. Mana Shield, keeping her alive, but Macropyre and Ice Path is
I've been super okay. We're actually going to see Medusa throw out her ult. She is going for the auto attacks, but he's being healed up. He's going to finally go down. Oh my goodness, that was a close one. Oh, but the finger!
From downtown. Jams it in.
The range on that thing is always like pretty hilariously deceptive. Because it feels like we rarely see the max range finger. But there it goes. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say how the Mana Shield has been doing work, but of course,
absolutely
couldn't do all that heavy lifting just then.
A lot of traditional mid laners, the Mana Shield just really isn't good against. A lot of the mids, of old at least, where you'd see Medusa play mostly, there was no real need. Just level up Mystic Snake, get that pumped up, maybe 1 point in Mana Shield, and then rest stats, but it's working. They're gonna go on the sniper here.
They dropped the Chronosphere. Now he has finished the full Dragon Lord, so he's a little bit tanky, but the Macropyre, very difficult. There's going to be the heals coming out from Oracle. A nice job there. While the Shrapnels are going down, Oracle going to throw out that hold, and it looks like Jakiro may be the one to pay the price. The Faceless Void jumps back in, but he's just going to get shot in the face. And actually, Oracle helps get the pick off. So really well played there from Pittsburgh.
Rox looks a bit uncomfortable on this Jakiro. He just seems very aggressive and a bit too far forward, because you have to play Jakiro the same way you would a support Jakiro, and that's fairly cautious. You still need to be able to get your damage down and not just die immediately. And sitting at 0-3, he's been just a bit too greedy.
Yeah, even though Jakiro is a high strength gain int hero, he is squishy compared to others. Silence on Medusa. She is not going to be able to walk it away, so goodbye to our Serpentine friend, and let's see if this opens up the mid push.
And then you can die.
This is a Drow strat without many towers taken as well. There's still a lot of room for them to grow right now. The gold lead is not huge, but with that Medusa kill, the map kind of opens up.
Fortunately, Techies will have his Mind Steve warded again. He is almost level 6, taking a lot of damage here. Sniper coming in though, and suddenly everything's a lot of trouble. That was actually interesting. Techies got so zoned back that he could not get the sentry, and this, we'll see if they can deny it. They are unable to, but there is a mine pile off to the left, so if they're lucky... Nope.
Oh.
I mean, I don't know if it's enough to kill Rox, but I think it could... You know, if somebody walked into it, it could result in a pickoff, but instead it looks like the Drow push is going to continue. And did I just see someone drop? I did.
So, if I'm seeing it right, that's 4 mines. Would that be enough for a kill?
Is it 4 or is it 3? You used to be able to select them, I swear.
Yeah, group select.
Those were the days. Does it help if I zoom right in? Does not. I went into like watching view and it's just creepy.
Oh, if you showcase mode, yeah.
It is 4, you're right. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, I think.
So that would be enough to kill the lion.
Yeah, that might actually be enough to kill.
I think it would just kill the lion.
I think it would. But with shrapnel follow up, I'm pretty sure they could secure a kill on anyone.
Anybody who steps on that is almost assuredly dead, just with assassin and, as you mentioned, shrapnel. So it's in a good place. We haven't seen any Techies mines be effective, but this might be a good opportunity for them to get some damage done and pick up a kill.
On Techies, I'm trying to think of ways that he can still come back into this and have good impact. As the game progresses, right, sentries will always be expensive. We can check at the end of the game how many people have bought already, but right, I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of those games where we've got like 20 or 30 sentries being bought across it. And it does get expensive, so if your Techies can be sneaky, maybe playing in their jungle a little bit, or even just in places you wouldn't expect, like maybe you're not expecting the mines over here and you walk there to escape, he could have some impact, but definitely hasn't had the early suicide that we're impact that we're used to.
Not even that. The techies on their own, yeah, all of their abilities are fairly impactful, but really you need an Agnum Scepter. To play it like the AUI techies that we saw at the International, just it becomes a semi-core. You have one lane completely under your control at all times. And other than that, he just feels like a dead hero. They don't have a way to get him in. They don't have the Tiny. They don't have a Darkseer to surge him in. He's just, how does he get a suicide off? There's not really many options for him. I don't know. We really need to see some landmines come out right now. And some good ones at that. Oh, he has a huge stack in bot lane. Right in the tree line there. Okay, they do have two very good setups here. Over towards the mid. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, that's actually really... Like, this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. This mine sign... Oh, not mine sign. This mine stack, like here, you don't often put a sentry there. Because you're not... You're hoping you don't have to go there. But if they're able to chase them backwards that way, it can really help.
And very important, too, this single mine right above it is inside sentry range. So that might lull CMU into a false sense of security if they do try to do anything about it.
Here we go, Oracle throwing out the hold, Sniper doing a lot of damage. They're going to throw the heal onto Drow, and the perfect stun from the Ice Path. Unfortunately, the Warlock doesn't walk far enough to the right to trigger the other mines. They're thinking about coming back into it. Shrapnels are not ready for 35 seconds.
I think if you're Sniper here, you just spam Assassinate. Yeah, just let it fly. It's 20 seconds. You're not really going to be using that mana anyways. Forcing out a mech is fine.
It's actually really good for Pittsburgh, considering what they're up against push-wise. We're also going to see Medusa continue to push on the top lane.
Timber's getting farm bottom, too. This is not ideal, obviously. They're being pushed in by a Drow, but they're getting more out of this than a lot of other teams we've seen.
Oh, and Public Player takes a bunch of damage, but unfortunately, they didn't quite have the vision to follow it up with Assassinate. Drowstrat's still working to push in middle without their Faceless Void. They do manage to land that stun, the silence off the mark. One Shrapnel is back, the second one recharging. They throw a hold out onto Public Player who will go down. Medusa now coming in. Techies with the Suicide Drow getting very low. There's going to be the Warlock ult coming out. Will it do enough? A silence onto it, but already Jakira burns down. Medusa does end up going down to Drow who gets shot in the face. And Timbersaw, he means to chain further over, but it's unable to. Faceless Void thinking about coming in, but he doesn't have the mana for his ult. And so it looks like that'll be the end of things with a good...
Oh no! Don't go for the... Okay. That must have been a level 1 mine, because that should have killed. That was...
Oh gosh.
That was a really good hold from Pitt.
Yeah.
Oh, and then that one stack we're talking about just got illusion, so that's nice.
Oh, really, I think really impressive hold from Pitt, considering that they are quite a bit behind and how strong the Drow is. But as we can see, they're starting to take the experience lead, and this is what happens. If you are not careful when you're pushing, you will lose other advantages.
And at the end of the day, yeah, Pitt did get a bit more out of that just due to the Medusa and the Timbersaw and other lanes doing their own. But they didn't get much from it. There was no tower damage. Maybe Medusa got a bit down on the top tower, but none of that translates into direct gold for the team. So a good hold, but this is the first step. They need to do a bit more with their next team fight victory.
Yeah. They're getting there though. Medusa is actually higher net worth than Jakiro, which is pretty interesting, all things considered. And of course, Sniper doing great. He's going to have a Yasha soon.
Medusa still has no items. The Jakiro is far more impactful at his current net worth than the Medusa is. The Medusa essentially is a stun, maybe, and then just spamming Mystic Snakes. Everything else is... Her auto attacks do essentially nothing right now.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, they're gonna trade. It looks like this isn't advantageous for Pittsburgh. They probably... You want to make a move to save your tier 2s, but they're very difficult to defend.
When you're behind, you'll take a tier 2 for a tier 1, in my mind. It's gold that they wouldn't have otherwise had. CMU is in the driver's seat, especially with the Chaotic Offering and Chronosphere up. Any bit of gold is good.
Shrapnel now coming out. Sniper gonna poke away at Drow, who's getting healed up. He has another... he'll have 2 up in a second, so 2 shrapnels now ready. They should be able to stagger those to make sure that they have the defense. And yep, here comes another one. Off to the side a little bit though. Rox is taking quite a bit of damage. Gonna force the mech again. And now another heal from Warlock. This single target sustain from the Warlock. I have to see if it can be enough into shrapnel and the Mystic Snake spam.
The sniper staying relevant is keeping this push as it is. Like, he's doing so much work with this Dragon Lance and just forcing them off of the high ground. If Sniper didn't have the early game that he had, this would be a completely different push.
Very true. And Medusa looking to get a Maelstrom up soon. Oh my goodness, they just picked off the Drow. They do manage to catch 2 in a Chronosphere, but oh no, Faceless Void doesn't think he can do anything. Finally, the Chaotic Offering comes out, and there is the Ice Path. Medusa looking very, not so dead with that false promise. Lion goes down as well. Medusa is taking damage, but Oracle working hard to heal her up, and she's gonna live despite eating the Ice Path and the Flames from Jakiro. And another great hold coming out from Pittsburgh. And Medusa, as I said, about to have lightning. These holds just get easier.
That was the questionable Chronosphere, and then even more questionable was the follow-up. After losing the Drow, you just need to leave. You have to get out. I did not expect the Oracle to do that much, and obviously neither did Soul playing the Drow Ranger, but at that point you have to leave. There is nothing to gain, and losing 3 heroes, 2 very important ultimates as well, and the Medusa lived. A great false promise kept her alive.
Yeah, just really
That's
nice.
really what Pit needs.
Good teamwork, and again, because it's a push strat, they're going to really lose, CMU will really lose out on experience, as we can see, and they're of course going to start losing out on gold, and something we always have to bring up, a lot of the gold deficit for Pittsburgh can be gotten back when these towers are taken.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas CMU now only has 1 tower left to take to buff them up.
I really feel like these landmines that Techies is putting down could be very impactful. As we mentioned earlier, this is not really a place that you would expect the mines, but I guess that's where you should expect the mines. Regardless, with the Arcane rune up, he's just going to be spitting these things down like no one's business.
Really good. It's really important that he takes these opportunities where he can. Even the mine... Oh. Okay, that was a bit rude of Oracle. He just blew up a big stack. Even these mines in the lanes, sometimes you can lull people into a false sense of security, and when they're retreating, you can blow them up with those remote mines.
And sitting at just level 1, no Aghanims, these remote mines aren't going to do that much. But even just getting a good chunk of health down, forcing out the mech, could be worth it for him.
Well, here comes the next push. This is an outer tower, so it should be pretty easy for CMU just to poke away at, but they're not all there, and actually no Faceless Void, no Lion.
I think they could get away with just the Drow and the Jakiro. Obviously they couldn't fight, but getting down some Liquid Fire and with the Drow's damage, looks like they'll back up. I think they could get some chip damage down on this tower if they want to.
Definitely could. Now, almost everyone except for Timbersaw is congregating. See how that, for Pittsburgh is congregating nearby. We'll have to see how that goes, but just actually looking like things are gonna calm down and chill out.
With the way Pitt's holding this, you have to think, they do have really good late game. With the Timbersaw and the Sniper and the Medusa, they will win fights late if you let them. So this push really needs to keep going. They gotta get a high ground tower and soon. Otherwise, this is kind of opening the door for Pitt. But they're doing what they need to. They're taking towers.
Bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I think that CMU, Roche, obviously an important target, but then I think they may need to make the decision to get the racks over getting kills, because I'm not sure that they can get both anymore in engagement.
I mean, we saw it last game, right? Where they didn't go for the racks. They lost, what was it? All their heroes, right? I think it was a full 5 life, and they didn't even get racks. That can't happen this game. That gives Pitt way too much wiggle room.
Yeah, It's kind of funny because the push strat is definitely working better here for CMU, but I'm more worried based on Pittsburgh's heroes. I also haven't been super keeping track of where techie mines are popping up, but there's a lot to maybe just delay a push. Yeah, we've got a couple in the lanes to delay things. We've got a couple of good mines in places to stop folks from escaping. I'll have to see if that's enough. But yeah, this is a really, like, I guess the CMU may just have one team fight here where they really quickly take the towers. That's super possible. They have really big team fight ults in the Chronosphere, in the Chaotic Offering, but I'm still worried because Pittsburgh has been doing such a great job of defending.
This push is going to be harder. Drow now has little reason to lead with these Aegis, and Jakiro getting chunked down. Well, okay, they're going to eat a lot of damage because of this.
Oh gosh, if they... Unfortunately, of course, Drow was invisible, but yeah, folks took a lot of damage. Jakiro can mech them up, and they'll actually just heal up Drow. Jakiro unknowingly standing on a bunch of mines, but it's fine. And Drow, she will be pretty much healed up by the time the next wave comes in. But yeah, also the D-push spam is here. They don't need to use shrapnel anymore for this.
Yeah, and these two mines are only going to do 450 damage, assuming base. Oh, and they're going to deward it. That's brutal. Is that a gem up? Yeah, Warlock has a gem now.
Makes life a lot harder.
Yeah. Luckily, they do have the landmine sign up on the high ground, so none of those mines will be detected. Still not great. Rox is just going to run in and almost die here. He actually probably will die.
Rox is probably in a lot of trouble. There's going to be the Chaotic Offering. Manages to keep him alive for a little bit, but then he does end up going down. So has Medusa fallen. Faceless Void also manages to get out, and they take out Oracle. So suddenly for Pittsburgh, 3v4. Aegis still hasn't been consumed here. So Drow gonna keep trying to poke away at things, but you'll also notice that she's having trouble with the D-push that Pittsburgh is putting out. Drow having trouble getting up onto that high ground. She's starting to now. Again, he's taking a lot of damage, kind of expecting her to get shot in the face.
They have no more ultimates to fall back on. There's no Chronosphere, there's no Macropyre, and Jakiro is dead. There's no Finger of Death, Chaotic Offering's gone. It's going to be 90 seconds to Chronosphere, and that's the soonest one. I mean, I don't imagine they could sustain this push that much longer. I feel they just need to back up and farm.
Yeah, it's really rough. For CMU, I feel like they should have been able to poke away at it more, but just realistically...
Oh, Lion's dead.
Oh, excellently done. Excellently done. Finally getting one of those, and that's a big bounty. Techies. It feels like when you just look at it, CMU should be able to push more, but really the D-push from Pittsburgh, just so much at this point, and you're right, I think if they stayed, they would just give over more lives to Pittsburgh.
Time is money.
In a game like this, right, you could have all your heroes sit mid and just let Drow chip at the tower, that's fine, but Pitt, at the end of the day, is still getting that entire wave worth of experience and gold. And CMU is dedicating all their heroes just to make sure the Drow doesn't die. It's totally worth it for them to just sit on the high ground and just clear the waves all day. So without those ultimates for CMU to fall back on and to engage with, it's really not efficient for them. They could be better using their time.
We'll see this somewhat reflected in the experience graph, which Pittsburgh, again, is ahead on, although they are... Actually, Pittsburgh's only a very small amount behind in net worth. Here comes Drow, still poking away at it. She has Aegis, I think, for another minute and a half or something. Medusa is gonna just try to face tank them, but she suddenly has no mana, does pop all of her one charges and gets it back. And yeah, that's 1 more minute left on the Aegis, so Drow does need to get right up in their faces, but not so much that she respawns in a bad spot. They're going to be able to slow down Timbersaw a little, but Drow, again, just taking a lot of damage.
Liquid Fire is going to end that tower.
No, but Jakiro may be ended. Medusa is able to pick him off, although now she is in a little bit of trouble. Although I say that, and actually it's Faceless Void who's taking a mass amount of damage here. He manages to time walk away. Drow gonna burn the Aegis, but is she in the right position for this fight? Medusa getting ready to drop her ult on top of the Drow. Drow uses that invis. She's standing, no, she pops out of it. Oh, they had a sentry right there. Never mind. Drow's gonna go down, and Warlock's Golem falls. They are on Pittsburgh, chasing CMU out of this hole. The gem on the deck now. Not a big fight for Pittsburgh.
This sniper is absolutely keeping Pitt in this game. I can't imagine any other hero would have stalled the game out to this point. The Techies was too far behind, and now with just a few kills and a bunch of waves defended from their base, they're relevant again. They have the gold lead. They're going to be able to push towers of their own. As you mentioned, the gold that CMU has is largely tower-based. CMU currently has, or Pitt rather, that's their second tower that they've gotten. We still have way more gold to pick up. Ultimate's down on CMU. This is looking good for Pitt.
For CMU, a little shining hope. They do have Monta on Drow now. The slow sieging gets a little bit easier since the racks are... You can get your illusions up on the high ground. There's just some easier things about slow sieging down a ranged racks over a tower, so we'll have to see how that works out.
That being said, Pitt really didn't exploit the map like I thought they would after winning a team fight like that. Timbersaw did have his bloodstone up in that last fight. He actually suicided, which is nice for him, but just having all these heroes finally being able to contribute to fights, like Medusa in that last fight was doing great work, just face-to-face with the Drow, did tons of damage. Pitt's held out long enough, and this is the point now where they could contest fights, especially with these Chronospheres that seem to be either rushed or misplaced. Like that Chronosphere in the last fight only caught the Medusa. Sniper was just wailing on him the whole time, so...
Yeah, they're not getting the Chronosphere synergy that I was expecting to see. I was kind of expecting Chronosphere on a bunch, then that sets up for Fatal Bonds across them, Chaotic Offering, and as you said, that lost Chronosphere was on just a Medusa. I think the one before it hit maybe 2 people.
They have so many tools as well. With the setup with the Lion. The Lion's been playing very well in my mind. With the Blink Dagger, he's hit multiple member stuns, and he's just been very useful throughout the course of this game. You have the Jakiro's Ice Pass and Macro Pyre, which I don't think we've seen used in conjunction with either the Chaotic Offering or the Chronosphere. They have a lot of tools, they're just not using them synergetically.
Yeah, I would super agree with that. I think that for CMU, if they can execute the next fight cleanly, that could definitely help them out. I think another important thing is to look at their smoke potential. I do not believe we've seen too many of those, although apparently they're out of them. They must just not have landed amazingly. And if they can make a smoke work, right? Pittsburgh, let's say you kill the sniper, right? Pittsburgh suddenly doesn't have the greatest of deep push, or catch out the timber saw. The same thing happened.
So, Pitt has 2 couriers at the moment, and one of them is dedicated to holding the gem. I'm slightly confused, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, I guess.
Yo,
you definitely don't want to turn the gem back over.
It's just show-off couriers. These are just like, they're showing off their cool couriers. Also, Techies, like, I guess every time he's healing in the fountain, he's been placing a mine, or like every time he respawns, so there's like a bunch of mines in the fountain. I have not actually seen that before, and it is now something I will do.
If they're gonna try to sneak a gem, like, try to snag something with a smoke, some foolery, sure, that looks great. Why not? There's no
But you
limit
can just put it in your stash, like... Oh, you mean the mines? Oh, yeah. That's cute, yeah. I thought you meant, like, the second courier. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna assume maybe they're hoping Sniper gets big enough, he has to get 7 slotted, you know? Pressure BKB on the courier.
It is the EG courier, it's 12, so maybe they're trying to let us know something, but... I don't know. I've never seen a spare courier just to hold a gem, when you just either stash it, put it in your base. I don't know.
The thing I hate about the stash and the gem interaction is the courier. Like, I don't micro my items coming to me. I just press the hotkey of, like, courier, bring me my stuff. And so when I'm putting the gem in my stash so that somebody doesn't do stupid things with it, it's like, oh gosh, it tries to bring it to me every time.
This farm game's benefiting Pitt at the moment. Top wave is pushed up all the way, and that's going to be 2 to 3 free waves just for Pitt to snag up. Timbersaw was farming bot the entire time. He's now got a Yules. That's going to help pretty significantly, either with the Void to hold the Drow in place. it's got a lot of uses, so I do like the Yules here, and especially because it's cheap. Timbersaw has been dying quite a fair bit this game, so being able to buy something that's cheap and efficient is good use of his money. So I definitely like the Yules here.
Yeah, the Gust from Drow is a real killer. Now, again, we're kind of seeing some stuff that we saw last game. Drow saving up a huge amount of gold, 4,500. I'm not sure what the plan is. A butterfly is definitely nice, but there's a lot of magical damage flying around that folks are taking.
I do like that she's not going straight for the Hurricane Pike like she did last game. There's a lot less uses for it, but sometimes it just feels tempting, right? Like, oh, this item builds into something else and it's useful, but holding off here, I think, is the right call.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You could get a lot more damage and utility by not going for the Pike. Like you're saying, a Butterfly. An early Butterfly here would be pretty devastating. Sniper's not close to an MCB.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even consider the Hurricane Pike because they're already sieging Rax. I mean, I think could be. It definitely could be good, but like you're gonna be outranged by Sniper, you know. So I don't know if you get to Hurricane Pike the target you'd like to. Either way, they get themselves an Aegis, and we'll have to see if second one is the charm like it was last game.
It's a lot tougher this time around. They don't know how many mines they're going into, and yeah, they could get sentries down. They'll spot out the explosives.
Medusa has Manta along with her Dragon Lance working on a Scotty. Like, she's really managed to get back into this game. She's actually out farming the Sniper all of a sudden. Where did that come from?
I don't feel like Medusa is quite strong enough to really dominate a fight like we've seen her. She's definitely in fighting shape now. Like, she could, as you mentioned, she's rivaling the Sniper in farm, so in a good place, but
this is also really nice stuff coming out here for Pittsburgh. The placing casual, like, single mines in places. Oh, never mind. We have a team fight. A Chronosphere does manage to land on the two. They've dropped down the Macropire. Baseless Void actually getting almost all his health back. And there's the stun. There's the silence. Medusa manages to pop her ult. Can she do the damage? False Promise saving her life. Lion gets away with a tiny amount of health while Medusa just tries to output damage while they're smacking away at her. Oracle unable to save her life. The Golem surging forward. Sniper getting very low here. Drow unable to seal the deal on the Sniper. And maybe I have to eat my words about the Hurricane Pike. Drow will get shot in the face. That's going to be Aegis going down. Lion finally goes down to Purifying Flames. And Drow has to be careful here. There's going to be the dust coming out. A Sniper getting very low, though, from this Golem. Mines going off all over the place. Finally, Golem goes down. And all in all, Drow still somewhat healthy, but the Rax didn't take any damage.
they can't stay. Surely they're not going to stay, right? They have absolutely no ultimates to expend here. They're all very low. Pit could get back in super fast time. They didn't clear any mines. I do not like this at all.
I think oh, that was an uphill miss as well. That's like so unlucky. Drow got uphill missed. She is working on killing Timbersaw, and again, I think this is what we talked about. The Rax would be more important here. Drow getting very low. She's going to drop her illusions. It's not going to do enough, and Drow goes down.
Why would you stay? I don't understand. There are no more ultimates to fall back on. I don't like that at all. That's just a misstep from CMU. Aegis is popped. You got out with your life. Great. Time to go. You're just giving Pit more gold that they wouldn't really have earned. They could have just backed off, but now, look at the map for them. They could farm all they want.
Yeah, it's looking really tough for CMU after that failed push, and I really do think a lot of it has to do with not focusing on an objective. It's also just hard to siege high ground, not only into a techies, but into a sniper. And Medusa, who've both gone for that Dragon Lance. They can shoot you from so far away. Now Sniper also working on Mjolnir. Like, how are you going to have any wave to hit anything?
Yeah, as soon as that Mjolnir's done, I don't know what CMU has to do. Void has to go in so early that he just puts his life on the line. In that last Chronosphere, he caught, I believe it was the Medusa and the Timbersaw. Really, you need the Sniper. The Sniper was just wailing on him from miles away. He lost all of his health before he could do anything significant. Sure, the Macro Pyre and Chaotic Offering followed, but no damage was dealt to the Medusa or the Timbersaw. It was just a great Chronosphere, but almost a waste. So
Yeah.
you really need more from it.
I feel like I'm missing something because these Chronospheres keep going off. Drow's never inside of them, but they just don't seem to have the damage. They're going to go for the solo pickup on Medusa, but again, they're just not doing enough. False Promise comes out, so it's going to be hard to see how much damage Medusa has really taken. The Chaotic Offering as well. She's going to go down, but holy Hannah, that was both super long cooldown ults. Faceless Void running forwards as if he's got something left in the tank, but man, you have nothing, and I think
they could have saved the Chaotic Offering.
Yes.
That was a bit much.
Yes. I do not think that was super worth it. They're going to get a bunch of gold on CMU, but I don't believe they can sustain this push now.
The Chronosphere, sure. Macropyre, it's a short cooldown. 60 seconds is doable. And okay, they'll get a buyback. If they just back off now...
That's actually
things are
super
fine.
good that they got the buyback. I think they want to get Jakiro up on the high ground, but unfortunately he will take a lot of damage. About to get shot in the face. No, he goes down to the Purifying Flames. A nice ice ball there. Drow now trying to work in on to the Timbersaw, but he is going to de-silence. Drow in a lot of trouble, and I fear this may be the end of days for CMU.
They have no business pushing. I feel like a broken record. How many times have I said this? They are out of gas. They cannot continue to push once Chaotic Offering and Chronosphere's down. It's just out of the question. And now Warlock's just going to die. Luckily, he gets out of vision.
It's nighttime. He might be able to walk this one off. He's trying. They're faster than him with their Yashas. He can be sneaky about the way that he's going. Sniper doesn't have any shrapnel charges, so he's going to...
I honestly don't know what more to say. There's no item CMU could buy. There's nothing that like Pitt is doing particularly right. It's just you've expended all of your teamfight material, all your ultimates, all the key abilities you need. So just hold off. Just wait it out. Go farm the map. Grow an advantage. I really don't understand what's going on in their minds when they keep going for these pushes. It's... Yes, the range Rax is at a third health. Sure, that's a juicy objective. But you're losing your lives time after time and giving Pitt so much money. I do not agree with it at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of ways that CMU can still complete their push, and I really just don't see much. They are now 4,000 gold down from Pitt. Pitt also has a 10,000 experience lead. They're in the driver's seat. The only slight issue I could see here maybe for Pitt is that they don't have the best tower siege, just because the Medusa and the Sniper, while they hit medium well, they don't hit super hard. There's no Deso among them, but it looks like they're fine, right? There's going to be another smoke from CMU. Oracle going to just be the one to walk into them, so that'll be a quick pick. That's pretty good. If they can catch Sniper, holy Hannah, that might just be what they need. Lion also jumped forward. Sniper, I am going to guess, does have buyback, but he'll go down. He actually doesn't have buyback. Am I seeing this correctly?
Yes, that is.
That could be...
And they their ultimates. This is what they needed.
They will be able to use that Chaotic Offering. They do on the Medusa. Again, interesting target. Faceless Void is going to go down. Did not blink into the right part of town. But Medusa also taking a lot of damage. Lion going to help pick her off, and she has no buyback after the last one. Just as I said, how do they get back into this? They do it.
Finally some patience, and it pays off in spades for CMU. They get 2 kills. They're lucky that neither has buyback. That's more of a misplay than a plan, I would imagine. But, oh, they don't have a wave because Techies had the remote mines in lane. That was... It's going to delay. I feel they still lose these racks, but...
They will probably still lose the ranged racks. I'm unsure now about the other racks. Drow doing a lot of damage, but oh my goodness, the finger, a beautiful blink in. Techie's trying to do what he can, but he is going to fall, and suddenly it'll be... Oh, Techie's actually buying back. The wave is here. Oracle standing on the side. Sniper will be back in 7, but the full lane of racks has gone down. For CMU, though, 1 lane of racks isn't enough, because Pittsburgh, they've been expecting this, and actually Drow looking to kill up Techie. She'll get that, so at least denies or the stops or causes a dieback, is what I'm trying to say.
Now the question is, can they do that again for 2 other lanes? Because pushing with your heroes onto the throne towers is a very, very ballsy position. They really have no idea how many mines Techies has up here, and it's actually pretty sparse. There's a few good groups, but ideally you get megas, and you let the megas push in and do the damage.
Illusion.
Yeah,
I like that they're backing up and playing smart now and farming like they used to.
I think a really good job by CMU being patient with the Kronos. Drow ends up, she again has 7,000 gold. She went for the BKB, which she did use last fight, but and it is really nice into a Timbersaw, but I think it's hard, as you said, to do it again. It's pounding.
Just to touch a bit on the history of these teams, because we've talked the game pretty in depth, but Carnegie Mellon last year was a powerhouse. Both these teams were actually really good last year, but lost a lot of key players due to graduation and darn college. But last year, Carnegie Mellon lost to Cal Poly Slow, the Banana Jamma Slamma Dream Team, in round of 32. And Pittsburgh lost to Cornell in the round of 16. So both these teams went pretty far. I mean, these are by no means pushover teams, or maybe this year that's a different story. However, these are like very historied collegiate programs, and the East is just brutal this year. If you are in the Eastern Division, the teams you have to face are just so drastically harder than pretty much any other region.
Yeah, I'm basically trying to say that I think it's always really impressive that teams play in these leagues. I played in the After Hours Gaming League for work, and it's like I have more free time after being out of university, arguably, but like it's still a big commitment to play in any sort of league, and so I always think it's super cool when folks play in a league. And as you said, the competition is fierce. Like, I thought it was ridiculous. There was one of the games we were casting had like a 6,000 MMR average. Like, that's not normal
in CSL.
My entire university, the entire university I went to, did not have any 6,000 MMR players. Like, albeit I think I may have gone to university before ranked was out, but like I can tell you, the skill level when I was there, like,
I mean, you're not wrong, statistically speaking.
Yeah, I'm not wrong. No, but I'm trying to say, like, I went to a tech-focused university. A lot of us played video games. We had like probably maybe one person who would have been like 4,000 MMR at the time, and albeit the game was younger and all of that, but like, yeah, I'm always impressed that these guys are able to do so well, and like these are good schools too. So yeah, we're gonna see if the Roche. Oh gosh.
Disastrous.
Well, is it though? Medusa did manage to get off her ult. Unfortunately, he is looking away, so Medusa has taken a lot of damage. There is a beautiful ice paw to follow up. They will see Sniper is stuck in the pit. He will pop, and now that is firmly in disaster territory. Lion gonna try to walk it off, but neither of these heroes, the Medusa or the Sniper, have buyback, and Drow trying to get the Aegis. She'll snatch it technically thanks to Chakram, but it doesn't matter. She's got the Aegis, and they have 60 seconds to push.
Still no buybacks. Like,
Yeah.
this is, at this point, inexcusable. You need to have buybacks before doing something like that. And I feel that's just a major misstep. Now they're just going to run it down mid and end the game.
I actually think that's a really smart play to just try to go down mid. Chikiro with the Yules to avoid the suicide. Fortunately, Lion does go down. Faceless Void trying to chase after. Oh, Drow just gonna BKB and start shooting at things. She maybe wants a teammate to help her out. Her team actually is looking to go elsewhere. The cheese is dropped. Oh my gosh, the courier didn't get it. Okay. The courier went for that cheese. That was actually really cool. And Jakiro was going for the tier 3, but now realizes that his team is right. They should go for the tier 4s. Let's see. Sniper is back in 6 seconds. Aegis will be burned there. Macropia going to be up now. They're getting good damage on this Ancient. There's no glyph available. Drow being chased around, but there it is. The Chaotic offering the pushback from the Gust. Faceless Void has gone down. Shrapnels are being placed now, but Timbersaw doing a lot of good work, making Drow really hit less hard. She is going to pick up techies though. There's Medusa's ult coming out, and suddenly Drow will fall. Kim Jong-il will follow. So Ancient only gets down to 3/4 of its health.
I mean, obviously hindsight, but really I think you got to be taking more barracks there.
Yeah, I mean, it turned out to not work. I do wonder if that would have been different if everybody was focused on the tier 4s. Because there was a split. They did get this tier 3 tower. They did do a lot of damage to the range racks, but I don't know if that damage would have been 3,000 ancient health. What is the armor on the ancient? I had no idea. Ancient armor.
Drow was hitting it for the longest time. So it was obviously in her mind, but... yeah, in the situations like those, and surely they didn't know that Pitt didn't have buybacks, right? So just go for the throne, force buybacks, back off.
Yeah, I think they actually had to know that the Medusa's timer was still up, because I believe Medusa was still on buyback timer. I could be wrong on that. But I think they knew Sniper had no buyback, because even though we had a bit of a pause, it was close enough to the last push that I think if he didn't buy back for that, you're pretty sure he doesn't have buyback. But it's, again, you don't know, right? He may have been like 6 gold from buyback and you messed up. So I think you're right. Trying to force the buybacks was probably the play, and just they got unlucky. But they will have Chronosphere for whatever engagement. Oh goodness, but the shrapnels, rocks, going to take a lot of damage, getting shot in the face. A really early finger coming out. Chronosphere manages to land on Medusa, but Faceless Void just getting into a lot of trouble. He will fall. And Lion also way out of position. Going to be the next to go down. Medusa now fighting 1v1v Drow, but she can't be here. She's trying to kill off Oracle, running right into them. There's the false promise coming out. Techies dies to the Radiant somewhere, and Drow will fall. I am so confused by this engagement.
Against a team with 2 heavy physical damage dealers, Drow decided to run back in. That is very confusing to me. I think you just need to wait it out. Wait for Chaotic Offering. Yeah, that Chronosphere messed up, but just wait. You're not in immediate threat of losing. I'm very confused by that play, and they're gonna have to pay for it now. She's gonna have to buy back.
Both of them. Even if they do buy back, though, Chaotic Offering still a bit of a cooldown. There's going to be an aggressive TP out. Faceless Void, though, he doesn't actually have the tools to catch anyone, and so Pitt bring themselves right back into it.
Just minor missteps, but they compound. That was a 5,000 gold lead that they had, them beating Carnegie Mellon, and it's just thrown away. That's like the biggest we've seen all day. These games have been so close.
Is under attack.
Small missteps, and they just kept compounding there. Really not looking good for CMU in my mind right now. Medusa and Sniper have just so farmed.
Yeah, again, they have to pick off the Sniper. I think that's really what won them the last fight.
I'll take that.
On the upside, they do have big creeps in one lane, so if Techies isn't on top of things, there are no tier 4s, there's no little buildings, no ziggurats in the way, so CMU may be able to get lucky with some chip damage, forcing Pittsburgh back.
Counting on the Techies to be off his game is not really a game plan you have going game, though. Smoking too like this. Blinds? Do they have a gem? I don't think they... Oh,
we have, yeah. Sniper has been Chronosphered, but where is the damage? Finger comes out. He's taking quite a bit of it, but I'm unsure if it'll be enough. The Ice Pulp comes out as well. Sniper going to be moved over to the sideline now, getting some magic resistance thrown out there. He finally does go down. He does have buyback. Let's see if they can force it. Both golems going to be dead already, and still, they're holding and waiting. There's a gem up. Sniper buys back Medusa, though. She's dead, and yeah, as you said, that's done. Medusa, she doesn't have buyback again. I feel like we talked it to death, but never mind, they don't need it because Drow's suddenly dead, and all the damage on CMU is gone just with that Drow's death. They need to bail out. Rox desperately trying to get away. Warlock has walked off to the north, so it's actually Rox who's in trouble, and nicely recognizing that they don't have a way to stop a TP, he just leaves. Oh, Lion, do you have the... Oh, okay, one auto attack will do it.
He probably could have just stayed in their base and TP'd out. Like, they started chasing all of his teammates, but... That was a good...
This game is a mess. No, this game is a mess.
But that Chronosphere was what they needed, and at the end of the day, the stun, latching onto the Techies and the Medusa, was great. Picking up the Medusa with no buyback and... Again, there's no way to know that the Medusa doesn't have buyback. But just landing that stun, getting a guaranteed kill, that's great. But then they just all died. They threw it away. And oh, great, I denied. But at this point, you're losing your base.
The moment Drow's BKB wore out, Timbersaw chewed through her so quickly. When she's alive, I'll pull up her health, but it is just not enough in the face of 2 Chakrams.
And what a game he's had, right? I mean, we were talking about how rough of an offlane both the offlaners had. and they just turned it around.
Yeah, this is just what Timbersaw does, though. We see this all the time, right? Timbersaw's having a rough time in laning phase, and then they just manage to get back into it if you let the game go for long enough. It's one of the nice things about the hero versus someone like the Faceless Void, who does have a much harder time farming without an easy AoE clear.
And he's almost completed Pipe and Shiva's as well. He's going to be a menace to the Drow. Once the Shiva's is done, just shutting down her attack speed entirely. Same goes for the Faceless Void, although he's not doing quite as much damage.
I'm just... So, Drow she is hitting really hard, except when they're up in her face, which of course is a concern with the Timbersaw. That's actually kind of the only person it's a concern for. I guess you can argue Medusa can run at her. But I just don't feel like she's hitting hard enough, or something else is wrong. She actually just finishes up the Satanic to make sure she can't go down again. And it makes sense, her buyback's on cooldown. May as well blow this. This also feels like they're lost smoke for a while. Nope, they have one on cooldown. I'm wrong. We have a hexed up Timber. He will get stopped there. The Shrapnel's now starting to come out. A nice Ice Path. Faceless Void on the backlines. Catches out the Sniper. They need to damage this one down. He's the bigger prize. There's going to be a beautiful Chaotic Offering coming out. Sniper taking a lot of damage. Medusa throws out her ult, though, desperately trying to stop her ally from going down. Finally, Sniper will fall. Medusa taking damage now, but she's still pretty healthy, but the finger comes out again. When did you get an Aghanim Scepter, Lion? And that may just be GG. Neither of them have buyback. Sniper desperately needed here, and it looks like CMU have managed to do it. Timbersaw will take out Faceless Void. Drow does not have BKB, and Techies will buy back, but that's not the scary hero we're all worried about. So, CMU, if Drow gets close to you, Timbersaw, I think she kills you, and yeah, she's working on it. There's gonna be the Yule so that Timbersaw is no longer silenced up, but Drow just gonna poke at him. That's a suicide. He doesn't have enough charges. It's gonna be a long time being dead, so he buys back immediately. Oracle trying to pick off rocks there. Does have Purifying Flames, which would do a good amount of work, but there goes rocks in with the Shivas. Drow is just trying to work on the racks. She actually needs to back on up. Her damage greatly reduced. We talked about this. No BKB, and she can't fight the Timbersaw. Throws out the silence. Another finger from the Lion. They can kill off Techies here. They go for a Lion with the stun up onto Timbersaw. He throws out the Chakra, but it's not going to be enough. He gets away. The auto attacks are flying, and they pick him off, and that is GG. Drow can take out this thing uncontested, and they call it. That was fun.
I was legitimately scared for Carnegie Mellon throughout a
I thought they lost at like the 28-minute mark. I think there was a push at 28 minutes where I was like, oh, okay, we're going to a game 3.
And despite my cynicism, Pitt did much better than I gave them credit for at any point of the game. And I'm very impressed, especially with the Sniper, for keeping them relevant long enough for the Techies to be a factor and for the Medusa to be a factor. But at the end of the day, CMU finally pulls it together. The Void hit the Chronos that he needed to, and that Aghanim Scepter on Lion gave him a lot of fingers in a very short period of time.
Yeah, I do think it was really well played from both teams, keeping it super close, but we are going to see CMU reign victorious. You want to break it down about the code, Zach, before we sign out?
Absolutely. So, in partnership with CSL is Drop Zone. Drop Zone is a mix of a MOBA and an RTS where you control 3 units and go across the map competing for checkpoints and like positioning around the map. It's kind of reminiscent of Warcraft 3. I've been having a blast playing it, and if you check out Twitch chat right now, you should be seeing the Sea Star League channel be giving out some codes, so definitely get in on that. It's a lot of fun.
Yep, and also thank you to the Band Gaming app, which is the official app of the Collegiate Star League. You can use it to get together your group of friends so that you can compete and win and play techies in official matches. And also, of course, thank you to Twitch for helping us put all of this together. With that, folks, there's going to be another game up in half an hour. You're going to be having Toffees and Gorgon with you, so we'll see you all then. Peace out, folks.
Only $14.99.
Don't miss the call. Download Band. Communication made easy.